All right, have another one. We have Ryan over here, who's supposedly a black belt, and then we have Diana here, who's a blue belt. Um, and she's got a really, really good guard. She has a fantastic guard. The last time I'd rolled with her, I could not pass her guard, which was really interesting to me. So went home and thought about it and prayed about it and all that. So we'll see what we can do here. And okay, so kind of messing around here, just doing, kind of switching my feet, but it's not really, I am messing around, but I'm really not. I'm actually playing this little game to see if I can get some sort of reaction, to see what her response is. And as you can see, she doesn't really have much of a response. She's kind of laughing at it, which I would too. But I'm just kind of playing around just to see, if I can find a patterns and reactions. That's kind of what I look for these days. And so, I do have a collar tie here, and she is controlling my outside wrist here. And so I'm very upright when I'm, as of lately. I can change to a more of a wrestling stance if I need to. But as a general rule, I'm studying more judo, as of recently. And so I'm trying to, be very upright. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this to beginners. If there's some white belts or people watching this, I wouldn't say this is the best thing to do is to just be very upright, because they're going to grab your leg. Somebody's going to blast W. They're going to grab doubles. They're going to do singles. They're going to grab body locks and all these things. And, that's what I'm practicing. For me, where I'm at right now, I'm just trying to play that game. So a little bit of a dance. It's kind of funny because judo is kind of a dance. I'm going to go left and I'm going to go right. I'm going to do a little fake, left and right, boom. And usually what I do is now when as soon as I grab a hold of the hip, which I had a hold of the hip there for a second, there's like an over-under position that we both had. I'll go left and I'll turn right and I'll drop down and circle. And I'll try to grab the leg. And then from here, I'm going to keep my posture up and see if I can get a good connection to the leg. Boom. I switch back to an underhook on this side, looking for the inside position. So I got the inside position. I have good posture, going for the outside leg there to see if I can get a knee pick. Didn't get the knee pick, and she got around my head. So this is good. So now she's over my neck, and she's going to probably try to snap me down here. She got me down. And then she decides to roll. This is interesting. So she's going to roll me through. You generally do this when you have a type of anaconda position. She's doing it the other direction though. She's going this is more of a darce that she kind of has. So I can't see the dominant arm. She still may be neutral. But generally with an anaconda, you're going to roll the other direction. She would be rolling to her right, and her right arm would be grabbing around my tricep, to really lock it in when she lands. But we'll see here how she lands here. So boom. So right here. So I was opening my arms wide, not to be funny, but I usually do this to, like the Superman defense and all these things, or the fly defense where I go flying. This is just to separate my shoulders as far away from my, neck as I possibly can. Because if I do this, you can see my shoulders are here, and where I don't want to be like this. So if I just open as wide as I can, then it makes it a little more difficult for them to choke you. But you can see, Diana's hands here are neutral. And her head's getting smashed here. So you can see I'm kind of laying on top of her head for a second. And that's generally what happens if you fall to the dark side. You're going to roll over your face. It's not the end of the world. It's not that bad, but it can suck. But the hands are neutral. So what I mean by neutral is they're center. If she was going to go for a darce, then, her arm, her left hand here would be dominant. If she's going to be going for an anaconda, then her right arm here would be dominant. So because neither are dominant, then she's neutral, which is more guillotine and necktie territory. So I swim up and I get back to my knees to roll through on my shoulder. I reach for the single. I pop up. 4-point position. It's a great picture there. And now we're here. So I was trying to pop up to 4 points. And I was trying to sit through here and see if I can grab the outside leg. And she's doing a good job, just keeping pressure on the back of keeping her chest to my back and sprawling on top so I'm carrying her weight. That's what she wants. She drags me back down. That's great. Okay, so see, I'm trying to reach to block this leg off because my idea here is that I'm going to block this leg and try to go push to my right to get on top. Or if she tries to switch, I can block this side off and go to my left. So there we go. She decides to switch her grips and go for my back. Now she's on my back. But she doesn't have hooks. I always distinguish. You can be on someone's back, but you can be behind someone, or you can be on their back. On their back basically just means you have your hooks. She would have both her legs in and with a seatbelt position or double underhook. But right now she has no leg position, so she's essentially just behind me. This is not going to be very stable if I start to tripod. So I decided to go to more of what we call like a booby trap system. And so I'm going to stand up and I'm going to push her hands down to my waist so that I'm not trying to break her hands open here. A lot of times you'll see, and again, rightly so, you should be trying to open the hands here and turn to face the person, but I'm just keeping her hands pinned to my body, so that way I can start to walk away. And me walking away will either pop up in the hands without me having to do it, or it's going to get me high on her chest. So I sit back and I walk back. I sit back and it looks like I'm kind of sitting back to her, allow her to take the back, but I'm not going to do that. So what's going to happen here is she goes for my back and I'm going to deny the legs to get connection. And all I'm trying to do is really slide really high here. So we're sliding high. This is, if you want to learn this at the gym, you should talk to Mallory. I give her all the credit. She's the one that's been playing with this for a very long time. And I've been kind of studying her stuff and watching her roll. And so I kind of adopted a lot of her stuff. So, this is the strategy. So now I deny the legs, and before she can actually get up, because there's a scramble here. Now, normally the person will be able to bridge on the shoulder and get to top. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. You can, but what ends up happening is the more you play this, I block the legs, and as soon as she lets go, my hips, like I want to go over my shoulder basically, but I'm not going over my shoulder. I'm actually just trying to elevate my hips over her rib line here. If my hips can get over her rib line, because my butt is on her chest, that's correct, and then I want to elevate my hips over her rib line here. And if I can do that, then I can effectively get on top. See my hips drop over top. And then right here, I'll switch my hips so that way she can't actually get the hook. Boom. And now I try to switch so that I can get to top position. And once I get to top, I'm going to try to elevate and get back to more of a side control position right there. So I just switched the top bottom now. Diana's very good here. She's going to get to her shoulder here, and she's going to probably try to invert. Again, like I said before, she has a very good guard, and so very good guard retention. So I'm trying to prevent her from getting her guard. So there you go. I'm going to try to stay on her side here. I was trying to actually pull her arm up here and trying to get on, pull her up to turtle. But she did a good job keeping down, going in panda position. So now she's playing panda. Panda's just obviously we have classes on this, but it's just maintaining the inside position, not allowing me to get into her armpits. If I can't get into her armpits, then I can't actually produce I can't really get control of her, and I can't really produce a submission. I'm trying to slide my right knee through to try to take her back and expose her back by stepping through. But she does something really interesting here. Boom. You see her right hand right here? I was really creative. She actually grabs my foot because she knows that if I start to pull back here and my right foot pops out, I'm going to have her in a twister position. So she's trying to control this foot. I haven't seen that before, so I'm going to actually steal that from her. That's mine now. And then to prevent that actual back take, it's just to grab this leg. And she did. I was like, oh, I can't get the... As a matter of fact, I might be in a bit of a precarious position here. So that she goes for my leg here, and now she's kind of like drops me down. I'm like, oh no. I can't really take her back. Normally, I would take somebody's back here pretty easily. Now, she switches trying to get to the crossface, reaches her arm around to get the crossface. She's not quite deep enough with the arm there. Her hand's just kind of like on my face. So this is a bit of a 50-50 position. So we'll see. Again, I'm still trying to take the back here. And now I'm trying to step over and try to get to a twister position. So now that I'm over top of the knee, her right knee, this is going to be a problem. So once I'm over top of her right knee, now my legs can actually start to get connection and get to more of a lockdown position to the back. But she grabs my foot again. See that? She grabs my foot. So she's very, she understands that this position she understands what I'm trying to do, and she knows what she needs to do to prevent it. So this is very good. Just controlling that foot really just stops everything. But then I switch anyway. So she had her foot. What I decided to do, instead of trying to pull her back, I was just going to swing myself behind her. So normally I would pull the person on top of me, basically, and then lock my legs down that way. But because she had a hold of my foot, I couldn't do that. So I decided to rotate, allow her to help control my foot, and just rotate my body around the back. And now I have a seat belt with one hook. she's notice that Dana's doing a good job here. She leaned forward. This is really good. You notice my head is not on by her shoulder, so I'm kind of low on the back here. I can't choke her from here. Like she's leaning forward and away from me. That was a good response because that means I just have to. It's not that mean I can't choke her. It just means that I have to get her back. I have to get more connection to her, which means I just have to do more steps to actually get a rear naked choke. So I have an S grip because I was low, and then I'm just trying to pull her back on top. And she's actually killed the hook. So she was still focused on that hook. She knows that I need both my hooks to actual strength to actually do a rear naked choke. Now she's taken the inside position. Now she's done the second step. So there's many methods to getting out of the back, obviously, but one of the things you can play around with is one, killing the hooks, which is what she did. Two is putting giving the inside position, which is the exact opposite of denying the inside position. The more we play with this stuff, I realize, you either deny the inside position completely or you give the inside position completely in these particular scenarios. Usually giving the inside position is like it's over pretty much. I mean, not over, but you're on defense completely. But she knows that if she puts her arm my hands to the inside, I can't strangle her either. I can stay connected though, but I just can't. I have a body lock, but I can't actually do any submission here. And since I don't have any hooks, then this allows her to use her hands to actually block my feet from actually putting in hooks. Now she's doing the same thing I just did to her, which is really interesting. So now she got to her side, and I'm too low. You may be asking, why don't I throw my hooks in here? I can't throw my hooks in. I'm way too low. Look at the angle here. Like we are completely out of spinal alignment. Her head is about 4 feet away from my head, and there's no way I can choke her here. I just simply have a body lock. I'm gonna have to bridge to my shoulder or something to actually get connection. Now, so she's doing what I was doing now. So she's stepping over, trying to bring her hips over top of my hips and see if she can drive over on top. Now her second leg's trying to get, but I beat the bridge. So notice if I get to my shoulder, I win this scramble. If she gets her hips up and elevated over top, then she on the other side, then she actually wins the scramble technically. So I'm on the side now, so I'm not out of the water here. She's going to actually switch to her guard and start to attack most likely. I think she put me in an omoplata here. Yes. So very good. She got me in an omoplata. Now, this is actually a position I like to play with a lot. It's just a side note. A lot of times when you start to understand jiu-jitsu more and more, and you start to play with more and more submissions and things like this, you may find yourself in certain positions or submissions to where if you give a submission, you can bait them into taking another submission or maybe even a better submission. And so, for example, like if I'm put in a triangle, usually what I'll try to do is turn myself away to bait them to take an omoplata, because an omoplata is way easier to escape than a triangle, obviously. So, but I did that for so long that I'm just really comfortable giving my arm at this angle. Like it doesn't bother me to give this arm. And the reason why is because I'm not trying to roll through. I will roll through sometimes like the classic escape, but I'll baseball slide underneath, and this allows me to pass the guard. It doesn't matter the size of the person. I'm bigger than Diana here, obviously, but it's just the angle and the leverage that I have to actually turn that corner. I've done it to 300-pound guys. It's not a muscle move. It's just it's the angle. So we'll see if I do it here. I don't even know if I do. So she gets me an omoplata. She's actually sitting up. And, I'd like to see if she wants to finish it. She's got to get her left knee on the ground here. She needs to slide more towards my elbow and do an L sit or an L stretch and start to lean forward. So she's already on top. So I can't really, her arm is already on top. So I can't really roll through here necessarily. I could do a Granby roll I could probably do a Granby roll to get out of this, not a forward roll. But instead I'm going to baseball slide here. So you'll see here in just a second. Boom. So you see how I sit and I slide my left knee through. My left knee slides through. And what this does is allows me to have a lot of leverage on my right arm. And I slide through because now I'm under her hips. And so now that I'm under her hips, she's forced to go backwards. I'm still in an omoplata, but as you can see, watch, if I can turn that corner, but then I decide to flop over top. I tried to flop over top, but then I let go. I release because she's no longer holding the omoplata. I release my hand because she stopped me from going over top, which was not good. So I need to let go of that, release my arm. Boom. That was really beautiful. So once she got a hold of the leg, she threw the leg over. The right leg's over, going into a reaping position, and she's going to begin to start to attack my leg and get to a leg entanglement. Like how she got up on her shoulder there, Now, what I'm doing is, you can't really see it on the other side. I'm blocking her foot, her reaping leg, from going all the way through. I don't want her right leg wrapped going between my legs and wrapping her leg into like a honey hole position or samba knot position. This is no good. So I blocked the same thing she did to me with blocking my foot. I'm actually grabbing her foot and blocking her foot from actually getting that hook. You see this? So I have the leg actually. I'm blocking the leg. No, now I have the foot. So I have the foot. She's going to sit through. The problem with sitting through like this is that she is not wrapped around my leg in any kind of way. Like, she needs to isolate a leg with her legs in order to do something. It was a toe hold. You couldn't see it on the other side. You kind of see it through the space here. You can see I have a toe hold. So yeah, you couldn't roll through there. She's kind of flat here. She may be able to fight a little bit, but yeah, why fight that? It's just tap, start over. Caught with toe hold, those don't really count. So we'll reset. All right, so again, I like these positions, so I like reaching over here for the lat and trying to do. Normally, I would go to uchimaras and throw or hip tosses and try to throw the person here, and or put a hook in and throw the person over my shoulder. I don't want to throw Diana here, and I don't think I could. I don't think she had it. She was doing a really good job with keeping connection with the body lock here. But especially if somebody, if you're bigger than someone, doing any type of judo to where you're going down with them is generally a bad idea, because you don't want to hurt the person, and because it's pretty rough. So I'm not saying that would have happened here. I'm just saying, like, in this particular position, I can actually throw her from this position. But you'll see here. See how she spins around? That was very good. So I could have switched and maybe gone for it there, but there's no reason to. We spun around, and it looks like she may end up in a front headlock. Nope. So she's good. So she got out. I'm going to collar tie. I'd like to see her collar tie me. Okay, no, she's going for a body lock. She needs to be very careful here. So I'm giving her the body lock here quite a bit, and just because I'm trying to get into these judo throws through judo combinations. And it can go one or two ways. If Diana gets her hips in, like if she drives her hips forward, like, I'm in big trouble. But because she's driving her hips backwards, this is fantastic for judo. So just a note here, when you get to a body lock, as a general rule, if the person's kind of playing around like I'm playing around here with the kind of upright, playing around with judo, then you really need to bring your hips in so that you don't get thrown. So you bring your hips in here, and then that'll stop me from actually starting to try to do some sort of toss. And she does really good. Like, I don't even think I could really do it because she just keeps spinning around me really quick. So I switched to wrestling. I was like, all right, I had enough of this. I'm going to switch to wrestling and try to drop to the knees here and try to get the leg. I missed it. And she just get here. She could, if she had my right arm here and really bring her hips away from me and just drop down with a rotation, she could just do a bully takedown, just like with my head, and just drag me down. It's a great move, and it works. So right there, oh, nice. So I switch, try to go for it, and she's just really good. She's holding on. She has my arm. She has the head. I'd like to see her hips over here, more in front. And this will put a lot more pressure on my head or my back to bring me down. Because she's sitting up on her knees like this, I can establish a body lock, and I can actually start to maybe circle. Yeah, see, I can start to circle and get on top of her here. But she's still holding that, but now it's too late. I'm already circling. And that was a good attempt. So I like what she's doing here. She's actually trying to trap the arm here to possibly roll me. But I switch to the other side. I get heavy. I don't switch to the other side like completely side by side. I sink my hips back by her hips and getting heavy near the feet. And this can usually mitigate some of that, the potential to get rolled here. She went into a panda position here to get rid of the seat. And once she got rid of that body lock, I'm trying to step over to the leg. Again, I'm getting over top of the knee, trying to step over to actually take the back. She rolled through and tried to get my leg, which was really good. she would have ended up in not a backside 50-50, but more of a backside, like honey hole position or backside. Yeah, it'd be backside honey hole position, because her leg's on the outside, not on the inside. But I freed my knee line, and now my knee line is out. That was a good entanglement. I reach for her leg. She reaches for my neck. I'm going to go to turn. Good. Boom. She should be throwing her hooks in here, which I think she did. So her right hook is in. Try to get the left in, but I'm trying to posture up and get up. It's really difficult when somebody starts to like kind of stand up and just get upright, to get your hooks in and feel stable, right? She good. She did good. She dragged me back down. And yeah, I'm trying to, the best I can to prevent her from getting twister control. Diana's very, very, very good at twister back control. She held me there for like, I don't know, it was like 10 minutes, one round, one while back. And like my butt went numb because she was squeezing. She had such a good bite on my legs that I couldn't move for, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was like 10 minutes. So, she's very good at that. And I'm trying to prevent that at all cost. Retracting my legs here again, trying to deny the hooks. Her hook is down here, and I'm trying to just bring my knees to my chest so that she can't get that actual hook in. Even though she has a seatbelt type position here, I'm trying to do the same thing where I bring my butt to her chest. So see, my legs are just up in the air. I'm not like flat, like normally people's legs would be down here. I'm just bringing my knees to my chest and trying to bring my legs kind of almost like I want to invert. Trying to stay in front of her legs. She has a good grip on my arm. I think she has a Kimura grip on my arm. So the Kimura grip is it's not that great at this angle. So she kind of has it on at this angle. It's not going to be the best type of Kimura grip. I would like to see her more in a T Kimura, grabbing this arm with her head on this side, and that would have been a little bit of a better position for her for that particular for like a Kimura grip. So she won the battle with my legs, and she got her leg on top of my leg. So this is good. She should go to mount. There she goes. She goes to mount. I'm going to try to go turn to my side to try to get my hands underneath myself, but she blocks my elbow, my right elbow, and gets me back to a seatbelt and is going to take my back. Okay, so now she got to my back, and I'm just trying to turn as much as I'm trying to go to running man position right here with my legs and trying to turn into her as quickly as I can as to prevent this body triangle from happening and her establishing really good back control. So she has, okay, she switched back to this Kimura grip, type grip. And it's interesting, you see, again, I try to use my knees to my chest and bring my hips over to beat the legs. So she actually switches this hook. The reason why people usually do this is because they put the hook here and they're going to push my left leg over. And this allows her to get me more turning on my side so she can reestablish like a back. See that? But I go with it and I kind of go inverted here again. She gets her hook in, but I'm going to get to turtle. Or maybe not. I'm not going to get the turtle. So I'm going to swing back around. I'm still trying to keep my butt off the ground and my legs off the ground. It just makes it very awkward, right? I just don't want to be just sitting here on the ground and being like traditionally just kind of stuck there. I am getting my back flat to the mat. So it's already going to be difficult for her to actually get the position because she has no bottom hook. When you take somebody's back, the bottom hook is the most important hook, to stabilize, to stay connected to the back. I used a pendulum there to sit up. So when I pendulum, I sit up and now the angle's completely off, right? We're completely out of spinal alignment, and I'm actually going to try to turn to face her. It's going to be difficult because she has my arm here, so I can't be able to turn into her so easily. We'll see. Yep. So then I turn, so you had to switch. So I turn now, I'm back into sort of guard. She's going to a triangle. Oh no, it's an arm bar. So she got me, oh shit. She got me an arm bar. So she switched to an arm bar. Got me down. Immediately I go to my leg because she did a really good job of controlling my wrist, and was actually really going for my hand. You can see her hand grabbing my hand, which is exactly what you should be doing. So I was like, I was a little scared here because I was like, oh man, she's going for my hand. I'm just get my hand. So we'll see. Trying to fight to get her leg off my face because the top right leg, if I can get her leg off of her right leg off my face, then I can start to, move my head and sit up. So now I'm trying to go parallel. Parallel is a very good armbar escape because there's a running man escape or thumb down escape or hitchhiker escape for armbar, and there's also a parallel escape to go for an armbar. So this is the parallel escape, and just basically just turning my thumb, giving a thumbs down and going that direction. And the reason why I did this because she was actually switching to a triangle, which is beautiful. She was going to an armbar, and the armbar wasn't working out, so she switched to throw her left leg through to get to a triangle. And so to mitigate this, I'm trying to go parallel. And then I reach for her head because I'm trying to get something to pull back up on or to actually wedding sweep her here. So see that my arm is thread through right here. I'm not exactly in the position for a wedding sweep, but it's pretty well placed. My arm here is over top of the neck here, so it's not the perfect position. It should be under the body here, but it is a type of pendulum sweep I can produce here. But she's got a good post right here, so she recognizes this position. I'm swinging left and right, my hips off the ground. She has a good crossface, which is what she should do, is to prevent me from being on my side. She needs to get me flat. And I just use this, I'm trying to use this to get back to my shoulder to turn and take the back. So I'm finally able to get my legs around the leg, get a lace, and start to go to a twister type position. It's more using for like a sweep or a banana split position, but she's doing a really good job at switching her hips here and getting her and framing on my knee and start to free her knee. So now I've lost the position. I just opt to go on top. She grabs my leg to go to a double outside ashi position, and this is good. I turn to free my knee line. So my knee line here is getting out. She's holding really good grip here on the heel. The only thing I would just change this is perfect almost, but I like to, I wouldn't say it's, nothing's perfect, I suppose, in jiu-jitsu, but things can be a little bit better, even though this is extremely effective. What I would say is just if you can, use her right hand to hold the heel and the left hand to actually scoop around the Achilles like she has right now, it gives one tiny little layer of more of control. But this, by all means, this is still a really good grip. And I may be completely wrong about that. This may be actually a better grip. But I've just found that if I can actually grab the heel as well, I get a little more manipulation. Right here, I would have liked to seen her straighten that bottom left leg to actually get to reclaim my knee line. If she can reclaim my knee line by straightening the bottom leg and suck me back in, and this is that would be a major problem. Because my knee line's out, I'm able to do a step back here, and I'm going to try to roll through and try to take the back. This is a classic back take position to where I can slide through. And I didn't. So the time ran out. So it was a pretty good roll. Lots to learn from that one. And I really, really like that she grabbed my foot in that particular position, that back take position that I use quite a bit. Nobody's done that to me, and I haven't done that to anybody, so that was really good. And like I said, her guard's fantastic. So, and then I was really trying to avoid the back take position. She's very good at taking the back and controlling the back. And so I've been trying to utilize a little bit more of, Mallory's game to really be high on the chest and, play the booby trap system. So, that was kind of there's some stuff being played in there that we've been playing with a lot at the gym. So, yeah, that was really good. So very good roll. And, that'll be it for this one. All right. Thanks.